to all of the bus drivers, the UPS drivers, the FedEx drivers, to the sanitation workers and the EMS technicians and the postal workers, to the truck drivers who bring the milk that my great-grandson drinks and the bread that I love, to the plumbers and the electricians, and yes, to even some of the Uber drivers. I would date you. I want you to be real clear. I would date you, and I thank you for being the heartbeat of this country. I really do. And yes, I'm a lawyer. And yes, I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a law degree, and an Emmy. I've been on the New York Times bestsellers list 7 times, for several times, for some of the 19 titles that I've authored. And to you, beloved blue-collar, hard-working men out there, I would date you in a hot Mississippi minute. If, and here are my conditions, okay? If you're good to your mother, and if you are in good relationship with the God of your understanding, and if you take care of or have taken care of all of the children you sired, and if you treat me well, if you treat me well, yeah, I would date you, because I believe those are good ingredients. And if you have good ingredients, you can make a great meal. Together, grow together, build together, evolve together, create together with good ingredients. And those things that I mentioned, I believe all of those are good ingredients.
Shout out to Iyanla Van Sant and to all my blue collar workers. Y'all already know. Salute to all the blue collar workers, from the bus drivers to the UPS drivers, all the drivers, the 18-wheelers, those that are stocking shelves. There's so many options. The blue collar workers are the workers that keep the United States moving. And the thing is that persons like Ebonie K, what's her name? Williams, is it, I think? Doesn't seem to understand that, which is fine. And this is not about her not wanting to date one, in my opinion. It's her negative attitude about how she requires a bus owner when, one, she couldn't even bag the CFO that she was dating for 4 years. That he said, I would rather be with my grown children than to have you be with my kids. How do you not know a man's family after 4 years? Instead of listening to what Iyanla says and listening to what it is that a normal man would like to hear, she would like to go off on her own with a nasty negative attitude and then try to change the narrative and say she's talking about ownership. You weren't talking about ownership. You were talking about him owning something, but what does Ebonie own is the question. What bus company does she own? What TV network does she own? I mean, does she own the TV show Bravo, whatever it is, Real Housewives of New York, I think? What does she own that's around here producing all this money? What if the band came through talking about only if she owns something? All these women that's co-signing this would have a daggone fit. Come on now. Y'all can come out here and say it's not true. Like, we've seen it enough times. We know who you are. Women like Ebonie K are the women who are sitting around thinking that they're holier than thou, better than everyone else, and expecting more, but giving less. If Ebonie was so wonderful and her personality was so great and she was a very sweet woman, why hasn't she been married? Why couldn't she bag the CFO? Why is it a woman who is in the places and spaces of people that make as much money, if not more, than she does, and she can't make it happen? But she still wants to look down on blue-collar workers, we shall call it. Nobody wants to see it that way. People just think, oh, it's her preference. And that's fine. She doesn't have to date the owner or the other one. But lest we not act like we didn't see her face, we didn't see her mannerisms, we didn't hear her attitude. She thinks she's better than others. She thinks she's all that and ain't got nothing of what she wants. Let's not forget she asked Iyanla so she could ask these specific questions of her. She asked Iyanla to come to her show. She reached out specifically to bring Iyanla to her show. Iyanla, the woman that talks about relationships, the woman that talks about family dynamics, so that she could ask her, so Ebonie could ask her specific relationship question. What are we women supposed to do when we're all that and we have everything and we got it going on and we're the most educated, and these crusty, dusty, musty, rusty, ashy brothers still ain't sugar, honey, iced tea? When no mention about no ownership, when no mention about anything except for I'm better than them. And that's too many women's attitude, and that's why you land alone and then turn around and say, I would prefer to be by myself. I would not prefer to marry him. It's an excuse. That's not a choice. That's the reality at the end of the day. The most educated and the most dumb at the same time. The most go to school is how that should be rephrased. The most go to school because a lot of these people show that they are not bright. They are not smart, and they ain't got no bit of common daggone sense. I mean, I just am trying to know, at what age is it that it's your fault? Ebonie K made it to 40 almost, and ain't been married yet, knowing daggone well that's what she wants. Ain't no way that you bringing on a relationship person that's not what you want. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you in a 4-year relationship waiting for CFO to marry you, to even let you meet his kids. How's that? Sheesh. It sounds like the future or the older version of Krishan and Blueface. Krishan is not, does not see Blueface's kids. She's not a part of their lives, and they are not a part of hers. Those kids don't ever come over. Trust me. If those babies was over at the house, Blueface would be recording them. He keeps them separately for a reason. And so did the CFO. And if Ebonie K was so smart, why doesn't she see that? Instead, she's still blaming black men, or men, period, for why she's alone still, why she's allegedly harvesting eggs, why she won't date the bus driver, why she got to require the owner. Why would she even want a bus driver owner when she's up here on TV with people that have money? I'm sure she's in front of actors and actresses and whatever else them people do behind the scenes. Boom operators, child. I don't know what they do. Whatever they do behind the scenes. She in the rooms with Tucker, or Tucker was there. Whoever else is over there at Fox, whoever them people are. All them broadcasters, all those behind the scenes, all those trips, all those opportunities, all those networking events. There certainly weren't bus drivers. They certainly weren't Amazon drivers. There were people of means up in her tax bracket. She still couldn't close the deal. Went to college and got a jurisprudence. Worked as a lawyer in spaces and places where lawyers are. Still couldn't close the deal. And she admittedly said that she basically a hoe. Just what she said. She done went through all the Benetton collars. She said that. Still couldn't find a match. Still couldn't get a relationship. Still couldn't get married. Still couldn't close the deal. But always want to talk down to someone else. That's the typical black woman experience. I'm sorry. That's the typical black woman explanation as to why her life ain't where she thought it would be. Never any self-accountability. Never looking inward. Never reevaluating. It's always, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm right and you're wrong. Well, y'all continue to be right and continue to be alone. And when you're as old as Eartha Kitt and Diane Carroll, and then you're sitting there making your videos like they did, remember these conversations when people were trying to let you know your attitude sucks and all you're basically looking for is money. That's about 75% of these women. What you're looking for is money. You want to marry the money. That's why we got all these ridiculous cases going on out here. And the first one that comes to mind is Tiger Woods' girlfriend suing him for money. Like, you're only a girlfriend. You couldn't close the deal. Even though I'm pretty sure Tiger probably ain't getting married no more. He ain't no Tiger, or not Tiger, Tyrese. Tyrese, the only mug out there, I swear, that's going to go ahead and marry for love again and get taken to the cleaners. This is why I be like, I don't even care what happens. We just sit around, we gonna laugh because it's so damn ridiculous and it's so damn clear what the problem is. Then gonna sit up here and act like, oh, I've been to therapy. Well, it didn't work. You're very aggressive. Ebonie is very aggressive. She's not ugly, so that's not the issue. She don't look like she's fat, so that's not the issue. So it's every single one of the colors of Benetton men that's the problem. Not her. Like Kevin Samuels used to say, may he continue to rest in peace. The only thing that's in common in all them situations is you. But you know, for a woman, a black woman in particular, to do any type of serious self-reflection is like expecting snow in August. That's it. That's all. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next one.